Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today I want to show you the Spitfire Mk Vc, the newly introduced variant of the Mark V series that got added in 1.77. I think everybody noticed this change now. We already had the drop variants, and now they introduced the non-tropical variants, which have slightly higher top speed. As you can see, this is not even fully upgraded now, but I have most of the modules, and the 5C drop is slower. So overall, the non-drop variant, they are better than the drop variants, just because the engine gets more air and doesn't have to suck the air through a big filter. So, but now to the plane. I think as most people know, the Mark V series still has a pretty early Merlin engine, and that shows especially with the high altitude performance of this plane. Overall, this is a plane that loves to fight below 4,000 meters and doesn't really like fighting above it. Just because the top speed and the engine performance really declines heavily at this altitude. A good indicator also is that top speed is rated at below 4,000 meters, but that doesn't tell everything about some planes. But it is a good indication of where you should put this plane approximately, at least. Don't have to be exact at this altitude. So, in the game that I'm going to show, the plane is not fully upgraded. I have pretty much all the engine modifications. I have the wings, and I also have the new cannon modification, the first one only, which is crucial. I should note, because without the cannon modifications, you have pretty bad guns on this plane, like on all the Mark II Spano variant planes in this game, because they jam after a very short time. So having this Mark II modification installed, you see plus 120% between failures, and this is only plus 40. So yeah, type 3 better than this variant that I had in the match that I want to show you. And this is way above plus 300%, but yeah, I don't have it in this game, so now let's switch to the game. So here we are in the match. Sicily. And for some reason, the replay system seems to be bugged in 1.77 because they introduced moving clouds, and apparently the replay system was not updated in the same patch, so it shows clear skies, no clouds. When I played the match, there was a thick cloud layer above 3,000 meters, so maybe you will be a bit in some situations wondering why I don't see a certain plane or something. So at the start of the match, I tried to climb to a reasonably high altitude, but from my experience with flying the Mark Vc, since I grinded it, it doesn't do you a lot of good trying to contest the high altitude range of 109K4s, 109Gs, TO152s, and P47s, like the Hitler mold, for example. Pretty much have to rely most of the time on your teammates to drag them down or kill them at high altitude. Because if you try to fight with this plane at 5,000–6,000 meters, then good luck. Your energy will drain heavily in any maneuver and won't accelerate fast enough to contest the 109 that's already at altitude. It's not going to happen. So I just try to position the Mk Vc in a strategic position where I think the enemy will come to me, bombers, fighters. Where will they come in force and where will my team be, so that I can, well, help them. And this still 270 makes a suicide run. And get some crits in, but while critting, I also jammed 2 of my 4 cannons and used up quite a lot of my ammo. Yeah, here I checked, and yeah, only 2 guns were working. But, well, that gave us quite a lot of points, because getting loads of hits in generally is very good for getting a lot of good points. Looking around nervously, because if there are any enemy fighters diving on me, I try to stick to towards the lake here, Sicily. And here a 190 pops up, and also a 109, and now I'm a bit in trouble. The 190, luckily, a bit surprised that I'm coming along, doesn't get the nose on target. And now I try to, well, head back to base, because I know that I don't have a lot of ammo left, and that I have jammed guns, so yeah. But the 109 is eager to attack me, and another fighter, K4, surprises me. I had no clue that he was coming. Really no clue. And another 109 attacking me. The K4, I crit him. The P47N goes in and ramps the K4 out of the sky, sadly. Otherwise I probably would have got him. Not sure, but the chance was there. And with slight wing damage now, and with the team trying to get this lovely 109 there, I fly back to base to rearm. And while I'm approaching, looking around nervously because I don't want to get jumped by any fighters. Slow down. B-25 crashes, and the base gets attacked from 3 AG-177, so I break off my landing and wait a bit until they all drop the bombs. I don't want to get killed on the runway. It seems like 2 of them already dropped the bombs, so I only have to wait on the 3rd one. It's a joke. So while I head back to the battle, my teammates that were at high altitude are attacking their 177s, which is pretty important, because attacking heavy bombers with this plane can be tricky, especially the 177s. They can just dive away from the Spitfire. The dive speed of those things they are incredible. They don't rip. You can fly probably 700 kilometers an hour in a dive. Have the armament in the back, 20mm cannons and so on. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy that the P-47s and the P-51 are engaging and killing them. So at this point I don't really know where the enemies are. I have no clue. Just fly towards their airfield, and a 109 pops up right in front of me. Again, this only happens because there were clouds here where I was fighting. And now the problem emerges: to attack first and not get shot down by the second guy while I attacked him. And the 109 is approaching. What should I do? Okay, he gets distracted. I cannot turn around in time. 9G comes. Turn away from him. Duck underneath him. Away and try to use an elevator on this plane. And now I'm behind him. He's evading pretty well, so I don't have to be slower than really can't catch him. The other 109 has pretty good energy at the moment, so I switch my target, get to the other one, and now guy. Stalling out, but he's stalling out as well, and now I get a critical hit on his wing. And he jumps out. So that was a really nice dogfight here at low altitude, which played into the cards of the Mk Vc Spitfire. Because overall, I think you guys should note that this is not a high altitude Spitfire. This is not a space fire, as some people would call the later ones. Definitely is not. But it is a very good low altitude dogfighter. You can give the enemies a run for the money, but with Axis teams that fly reasonably well and use the altitude, you can have a pretty hard time if you have a team full of these things. Just to clarify what I'm on about, this is a good plane, yeah, you can, for a 3-to-1 ratio, decent. But at the 50% win rate, I think you can see that it can be hard. When the Germans know what they are doing, then you are pretty helpless, in my opinion. Because they can outboom and zoom you and have the better speed than you in most situations. Only if they are, well, if they have to, or if they are forced to go to low altitude, maybe be in the 1,000 to 3,000 meter range, and they don't have the altitude advantage anymore, then you are in the play. You can play around them. So, I hope this helped a bit about this. Just to show the difference also, the flight models definitely changed between here and there, because I know that the Mk Vc drop had a really broken flight model at one point. You could turn insanely well, and yeah, it would keep the energy a bit better than it does now. But don't let you don't get put off by this. It is still a very nice plane, and if you love Spitfires, I'm pretty sure this dogfighting low altitude variant will also give you some fun matches here. So until next time, see ya.